Hey everybody, happy Monday. We're having some interesting internet issues, so unfortunately, we were a little delayed, but we are back from our break. We have no Max with us tonight. I know missing our construct, sentient mask, sentinel will be missed, but he'll be back tomorrow. Actually, whether or not he'll be up to the task of playing tomorrow, he is currently vacationing in Florida at Disney World with his mom and stepfather and sister. My sister graduated from Marist, and then he'll be back tomorrow, and then she's driving back as part of her trip home, her journey home. So happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Faerun Reborn, as our team explores a post-apocalyptic Forgotten Realms. We'll get to the recap shortly, but hey, really quick, down below is all of the abouts about us. Our Discord information, our information about our schedule, everything you need to know about us. We have games running almost every night. We have one-shots. We have a dungeon crawl that we're working on. We got to do a little bit of testing on that this last weekend. Arena got to do a little work on that. I thought that was lots of fun. And Ches, I got the Yamaha soundboard and the Lavatar mics in. Studio will be opening in July for sure, and Ches is gonna graciously help me not be stupid, and help me plug all.
I love how you call them Lavatar. That's adorable.
Isn't that what it's called? What is it called?
They are Lavaliers.
Oh,
Keep calling them
Lavaliers.
Pokemon.
But
he calls them
I like
Lavatars, and
I like
keep calling them
Lavatar.
Pokemon.
That sounds way cooler. That's like
he ordered
like
Pokemon.
Avatar, Lavatar. Yeah.
Hey, if you're tuning in, make sure you type in exclamation ticket or exclamation tickets or ticket to enter into the dice, win some Viridian dice. I gave up on Nightbot. I now use Nightbot for everything but giveaways. I'm now using Stream Elements for giveaways. It's a lot easier to use. It's an entry system as opposed to a forcing you to be active in chat. I don't like to force anyone to do anything if you don't want to do it. So this way you can just type in exclamation ticket, be entered in to win dice. And then at the end of the episode, we collect the winner and then send out some dice. And if you're not familiar with Viridian Dice, check them out. They're super cool. Love their stuff. We also give away a set of dice once a week in our Discord channel.
What do the dice look like this
They are steampunk themed this week in the Discord.
They're cool.
Yeah,
Gears and stuff on them.
I'm totally gonna roll for that right now. I'm gonna roll for that right now.
And we have a special guest who will be joining us. Here, let me actually do a couple things here. Let me copy this link for tonight's dice. Get that done.
Keep rolling low.
Yes, you do.
I got 360, which I'm hoping is a good sign because it's all gonna be like coming back. I don't know. I got maybe
full circle.
It's a stretch. It's
full
a stretch,
circle. Come on.
I'm hoping.
Full circle. Full
It's a
circle.
It's a stretch.
full
I have to
circle.
wait until Friday.
Oh, that's
Friday?
funny. That was
Friday.
the incorrect link I put in there. Let me give
Which
you the.
incorrect link?
Well, I meant to give out the
Discord?
the Discord. No, the Discord link for the dice. And I did the wrong one, and I don't know if I have access to this link. So, but anyways, if you go do a search for Viridian Dice, I'll have a new bot command available by tomorrow night's show to share with you the dice that we'll be playing for. But the dice you're playing for tonight is the in celebration of LGBTQ month, gay pride, and all the fun stuff we got going on in June. These are supportive dice for the Pride month that we're currently in. Kind of cool
Sweet.
colors, but Viridian craftsmanship, their dice are pretty cool. And you know what I forgot to fill up? I forgot to fill up my Walter.
Wait, are
You want
these
me to
the
fill it for
llama
you?
dice?
No, I'm okay. What's that?
Are these the
No.
llama dice?
No, not the llama dice. Everybody loved the llama dice. When I posted those, we had 50 people roll in the first 24 hours for those.
I'm so sad I didn't win the
Wow.
llama dice.
I wanted
I want
them
the
so bad.
You want the cat dice.
I want all the dice.
All
Let's
the
just let's just say that. I want
I
all the
want
dice.
any set of custom dice. I have the Amazon like buy $11.95 and get like 5
Yeah.
packs of the different
Uh-huh.
colors.
Is
Like,
that
That's what I got.
that's the
Yeah.
cool
Mine are Walmart dice.
that's
I
that's
just got these. Those are
that's the cool by the pound dice, right? But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like 25 pounds for $10.
Yeah, I just got these.
I have
Those are
Kraken
cool.
dice.
Hey, I'm
My-
just
my
proud of my
purple-
Rick and Morty dice.
I don't think you can really see them. Purple.
I just
Kraken
want varying
dice.
sizes. I want like the larger size, and
Yes,
I want them
folks.
to have a cool
Dice
theme.
Dice addiction has hijacked the show tonight. I assure you.
Oh,
I
I
have
definitely need to get
blue
a
and
set for Jasper.
purple,
I need
blue
to
and
get a
purple.
Jasper dice set.
I have said
so-
nothing. I'm just here looking at my pathetic dice box.
Purple and green.
Yeah.
Purple and green.
Mine are Walmart
Derek-
dice.
Derek, do we need to send you? Well, I have some Walmart dice too. They roll really well.
They do.
Well,
Yeah, they
and
do.
and
I
Arena
usually
is
use Beyond though.
Arena is notorious for finding out that people don't have dice and then just sending
And
them
I
out
just
as
send them dice.
Oh.
Yeah.
as
Nice.
rescue.
This is my dice bag. This is my dice bag.
5-gallon dice bag.
I have dice, but they're all off. Like I got Neapolitan dice, which
And
just
then
look
these
ugly.
are the ones that I play with right now.
Of it. That's
Wow.
the cut down version. Good job.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Guys,
first-
we did a really good job at the intro for today's show. This is solid. Quality entertainment right here, baby.
My secondary dice bag. Secondary
Yes.
dice bag.
The first step is to admitting that you have a problem.
Yep.
I
yep.
don't have a problem with
But
as many
none
dice
of
that
us
I
have
have.
problems with
Welcome
dice.
to Monday night's episode of Dice Addictions and How We Cope.
So don't forget, type in !ticket, get your entry to win some dice from Viridian. So with that, a couple housekeeping. Cesare, who plays Velev, talk to us
Hey.
about your cool world that you get to do on the YouTubes.
Well, gosh, there's this thing called the General Adventuring Company, and I am
Link down below in the About section. They have their own panel with us.
It is down below.
Yep.
I play a Dragonborn Ranger Rogue named Jasper, and it's very fun. It's kind of like the comedy of Guardians of the Galaxy crossed with the like political, social, economical realm of Game of Thrones. It's really cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We just launched episode 1. Episode 2 is dropping mañana, tomorrow, Tuesdays, and then we continue to travel on and venture forth. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've been putting a lot of time and energy into it. So if you want to check it out, our social media handles are at TGAC Pod, P-O-D, on Twitter and Instagram. And then just YouTube is General Adventuring Company. It's linked up down below. And yeah,
I'm halfway
that's
through the
it.
first episode. It's really funny. They're
I feel
adorable.
like I can get in on an adventure from like the first, and not have to go back like 20 or 30 episodes to catch up. So that's good.
I know, right? Especially for my Denizens show, it's hard because I think we have lots of fun playing it and sharing it with everybody. But we're going to be on like episode 43 tomorrow, and we're still trying to get the other 35 episodes up on the YouTube channel. So I totally feel that pain. So with that, Gulshaw, really quickly, tell us about your studio of cool stuff.
Oh, yeah. Go to Redbubble and go on Dark One Designs. It's down in the About section.
Yep. down there in the
I
events?
create artwork based. A lot of it's based on our games, but some of it's not. It's just based on my warped mind. But you can
It's
go and
very warped.
check out the check out that page and help diagnose me.
And
Buy a T-shirt or whatever you want to buy off of there. And follow me. I got 1 follower, so
Oh, really? Is
maybe
it
I can
on?
get a second follower. I think the follower is myself.
That's down below too, right?
Yeah. So
Which
that's
one
well,
is
the
it?
link, the
But
link on
just started it, so I'm putting new artwork up as soon as I get it done. So
very cool, very
thank
cool.
you. That's
Kai,
it.
tell us about your projects you got going on.
Yeah, we're starting a podcast. It should hopefully be dropping in the fall for A Seat at the Table. It is basically a homebrew campaign that a group of us wrote together in Roll Britannia's Discord one night when everyone was bored. And
That's
so we've adapted it and turned it into a game. So it's
nice.
going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like
And I'm
I like Roll
just,
Britannia.
yeah,
That's a pretty cool podcast.
yeah, they're awesome people. They're like my good friends. So even though they're all the way across the pond, as they say.
Mhm. Yeah, it is interesting how we've kind of linked and synced up with a lot of people across the pond. Shout out to Check These Out. They rated me today during my chill session, which was pretty awesome. And we were discussing the new Wednesday game. If Valev wasn't overtasked, I know for a fact Cesare would love that game because it's just such an alternate theme. And I'm basically the main thematic approach is going to be letting the players create their own characters however they want, and frame it from their perspective as opposed to, my traditional narrative perspective from character control. So it's alt history, steampunk, Cthulhu, and then the D&D universe collides with 1917 modern America. It's going to be a very interesting game to play. Needless to say, that will probably start in a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. We'll be presenting the interviews or the character builds. I'm doing like one-on-ones with the players, so that should be fun. But everything's down the schedule. The Wednesday game will be updated soon. The Twitch character building sessions are going to be more pop-up than anything else. So, all right. So that takes care of the housekeeping. Let's go ahead and recap, as I think we're going to have an interesting start tonight. As where we last left off, when the team had finally gathered up all of their possessions and gathered up all the equipment needed for their journey, they had hitched a ride on a caravan that was going to make its way to the Ma's cavern or chasm and celebrate the opening of an ancient bridge that had been destroyed during the apocalyptic event that had plunged the majority of Faerun into upheaval, destruction. All the old cities are gone. All the old histories are unknown. And for once, something good is about to happen on top of all the adventures our team has already had. Some of us who are sentient masks have become sentient masks attached to sentinels. Others of us have been tasked by their gods. Others are simply trying to find out how cool it is to be best friends with a dragon that's very much out of time. A ranger that seems to be having a flirtation with a dryad, and be interesting to see where that goes. And a spoiled, rotten princess meandering out amongst the regular people. Just kidding.
Ominous.
Well, she
And
has a
Here, I
little
thought you were
spoiled.
talking about Arena, but okay. Yeah.
hey,
Well, she's
waylays and
a gnome.
melees. Hey, waylays and melees. Exclamation ticket to enter in for Viridian Dice. And with that, our team journeyed east. The idea was to get to the halfway point of the journey towards the Ma Chasm, which they did. They then camped, rested up, and made their way. Originally, they thought they were going to go the Timberland route, but instead they went through a different route to make their way past Woolsville. But on their second day of the journey, they encountered a that's funny. I've seen those Geico ads. They absolutely crack me up. Um, the team encountered another one of those portals that seemed to randomly open, a series of small ones and large ones. Flying creatures came out of them, but much larger than the ones before that they experienced in Turcasta's lair. The bulk of those were defeated through some pretty decent handiwork by the team. Then another portal opened up, and a monstrosity unfamiliar to all of them came through this portal. This thing was difficult to destroy, difficult to beat. It was giving them some difficulties. However, Gul Shah, wielding his new gifted hammer from both Bane and the Raven Queen, rolled a natural 20 and triggered a revelation of the champion's hammer. Is it a hammer or mace? I forget. It's a
Hammer.
Yeah. The champion's obsidian hammer. On the face of it, on one side of it, the life tree, and then on the other side of it, the face of death. The life tree with wings representing the Raven Queen. And suddenly we are going to learn what the face of death on the hammer actually means. And where we last left off, Valev, Max, Arena, Derek, and Kai watched as an arcanic-like energy exploded out. The massive creature no longer there. Gul Shah no longer there. Surrounded by the tattered remains of these weird kind of like red impish like creatures that were successfully defeated by the party. Quite a few of them. No other active portals. All the portals have been sealed by Max's handiwork. At this point, Max begins to drift among the crowded caravan, giving aid to everybody else. Gul Shah is currently not around. Valev, Arena, Derek, and Kai, what would you all like to do?
I want to heal because I am about, like, jeez. Oh my god, do you know how low I am?
Our healer probably took the most damage. Well, actually, no. Ghost Shot took the most damage in that
Ghost Shot
fight.
took the most damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
both our healers took the most damage in that fight.
That's so horrible, too.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to be gone
Which-
for 10 minutes?
It's not shocking that he's gone, but do you think he's going to be gone for 10 minutes or like forever?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
wondering.
it's
that
disappeared.
myself.
Is he going
I'm
to be
like,
gone for 10 minutes, you think?
Right. Shit. Where's Gul Shah? Where'd Gul Shah go? Look, is it under? There's no water to look under. Where's Gul Shah? Ow, it hurt.
I don't know. He just disappeared on us. The
Wow.
hell is that hammer? First, it knocks half of us into next week, and now this.
I mean, we don't know it was the hammer.
Yeah, you don't know that.
We don't know it was the hammer. Just saying.
Well,
But I assume...
everybody give me insight checks. See if you can put the pieces of the puzzle together.
I got a 7. I do not think I can guess.
I got
Nice,
a
I
21.
got a dirty 20.
Y'all are more insightful than me.
15.
I'm a ranger. I better be insightful, or I'm not doing my job.
Yeah.
With the exception of Arena not being 100% sure what's going on.
You still hurt.
Yeah, I hurt. Ow. My head. Ow, my back.
The rest of you kind of standing there as the caravan is now kind of recollecting themselves, getting the injured up into the wagons, the basilisk riders kind of quickly getting everybody back under control.
Spare the dying.
Fair enough. And I'll say this avoids the possible loss of individuals. You kind of allow that to happen. A handful of minutes. A handful of minutes go by. Nothing seems to come about. Gul Shah still hasn't come back yet. For the rest of you, with Arena being busy keeping people from dying, all of you kind of linger in the space where this effect took place. At some point, Scorch even kind of back in his And this time his elven form, he's kind of reverted back to that form. Kind of meanders over, standing next to you, Valev. Looks over at Kai and sees Derek, and he's kind of kicking at the soil where Golshaw was, and just kind of looks at the lot of you and goes, "Well, that's an interesting trick. I've not seen him do that one before. Does he normally disappear when he fights? Does he come back?"
No, that's
He's
brand new, and
never done
we
that
don't know.
before.
Interesting. Oh,
Okay, Gulshaw, come back anytime now.
I'm sorry about what happened a few days ago. I'm still learning myself. And I'm, well, Valev is helping me. Sorry, I've got like sound equipment ideas on my head, and that's equated to Cesare.
That sounds good.
I'm not sure what I don't know how to recompense for what I've done. I know innocents died because of it, but I found myself despairing my lack of control, and I needed time. But I think I'm doing better. I think I've found the control necessary. Unfortunately, I've had to make some hard decisions. But I will allow Jesus, I did it again. I will allow Valev to sort out that information as he sees fit. And he kind of looks at you, Valev, and just kind of wanders off towards the rest of the caravan that is now beginning to recover, pack up, and possibly get going. Still, Gulshaw has not returned yet.
Do I know what he's talking about? What information?
The time that you and him spent together discussing choices and
Gotcha.
the challenges of making those choices based on what he's shared with you and what you've seen yourself between the Jasper mining colony and the other places that the two of you visited before making your way towards the construction site of the Ma Chasm Bridge.
Right.
I
Okay.
guess if time has passed and calmed down, I'm gonna go collect my bolas and then inspect the imps or whatever they are.
Okay.
Do the
The
bodies
flying
remain?
red creatures.
Did the bodies remain, or did they bamf out?
No, they're still there. They're just shredded and in many kind of bizarre conditions due to the
Okay.
nature of your guys' violent tendencies.
Well,
They attacked
Four of
us.
them fell to their deaths, so they shouldn't be
it's-
too badly damaged.
If it's gonna be like looking like it's 10 minutes, I'm gonna prayer of healing.
Okay,
He's
After
gonna
I-
come back.
fair
in this
enough.
10 minutes.
Time is passing. You guys are free to do what you
Nobody
want. Derek, give me an investigation check, please.
All right, let's see how
I
this
have
goes.
locate creature.
Oh, not bad. 14.
14. Examining this creature, it does not look familiar to you. Its skin is a strange consistency. The coloration seems to be fading as they decompose, and they're decomposing quite rapidly. But when they decompose, they seem to decompose into ash, like literally turning from a solid remnant state into almost like a burnt, ashen state of existence.
Is there
They
anything left on them?
not really. They didn't seem to be carrying anything. They're, other than their strange breath weapon that they were using, the bites and talon. Other than that, their bestial or construct form they seem to kind of imbue is decaying, but rapidly. As you move from one to the other, not much remnants of any kind on any of them. No sign of item or anything.
I'll collect some of the ash. Maybe,
Mhm.
Okay. Give me
Vert
Kai
give-
would like to
like
do
it.
that also.
okay, Kai and Derek, give me sleight of hand as you do that. Valev and Arena, what are you two doing? Well, I know Arena's currently helping spare the dying, and you're doing 10-minute prayer.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Are the others hurt at all?
I got a 17.
17. Okay. Kai and Derek, you both collect a full small pouch of the ash, and you are able to take the time to collect like good samples. And
Like,
for
Okay.
Max is wandering amongst the caravan, but looking at Derek, Kai, and Valev, I mean, they're free to describe if they feel hurt or injured.
yeah, y'all guys.
I just
look-
got there.
Yeah.
Scorch and I
Right,
just
so you're
good.
arrived
Yeah.
right when
Right.
when they disappeared. So
What
I'm
about-
just looking around, wondering what's going on, mostly.
Kai and Derek,
Yeah.
you guys hurt?
Dudley
Not
took some
badly.
damage, but nothing that a short rest won't fix.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm good.
Then won't do a prayer of healing. I'll just heal myself then.
And
Yeah,
speaking
I
of
would
which,
help heal you too if you need it.
if any time would pass, Dudley would have just spent it licking his small injury, his small burn wounds that he got. Actually, no, he didn't get any burn wounds. He got injured from that explosion.
Yep.
That's the only damage he took.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna 3rd level heal myself.
Okay. At this point, enough time has gone by that the caravan is mostly recovered, and it sets off like normal. Gulshah's one of Gulshah's cousins, riding a basilisk, comes over to the four of you. You can see Max has decided to hitch a ride and stay with the caravan in case any more creatures may be up ahead. The idea, as the cousin comes over and says, I'm not sure what happened to Gulshah, but we cannot stay here. This caravan must keep moving. It was not expected that we would be attacked at night. I wish I could stay for my cousin, but it's not safe. We will take Max with us. We will get the caravan moving. Our plan is to camp outside of Wolvesville and make the final legs journey to the Marchasm construction site the following morning, as our people have a need to recover and we must get our bearings, and perhaps Gulshah will be back. But until then, I must keep this caravan moving. You're free to stay and follow later, but we cannot stay.
I'm gonna stay.
Okay?
Yeah, I might as well wait for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Keep my horse
And you
and
said it's
stay.
just south of Wolvesville?
yep. About
Okay.
to the southeasterly direction near the edge of the Black Forest.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Scorch will stay.
I'm gonna mark on my map where they're going to camp. And yeah.
Valev, what's your passive perception?
Passive is 16.
16. You do pick up on, because you're always mindful of Scorch's presence, you notice that as the caravan is leaving, he is like making kind of like sigil signatures near where some of the creatures are. And then he's like making glyphs. And he seems to be doing something arcane in nature, although it's not familiar to you. He seems to be investigating the items and creatures and some of the contact points where the portals were, stuff like that.
So the dead creatures.
Yeah, those.
Okay.
And where he remembered seeing the portals. Hey, Saint Stella, how are you? Be sure to exclamation ticket to win dice tonight, folks. Yeah, so you get the feeling that he's kind of doing his own investigation at this point.
I'll go up and ask. So what were those things? You find anything?
I
What are you looking for?
I'm not sure yet. These things are strange. Velev, are you or any of your friends knowledgeable of magic? Like
Yeah.
arcane magic. My magic is arcane in nature. I am having difficulties using it.
I can help. Kai would come up and help because she's not afraid of him or anything.
I, Kai, if you would kindly explain, how do you invoke your magics? Have you? I get the feeling there's something wrong with the weave. Every time I invoke my magics, strange reflections and rebounds and uncontrollable actions take place. I was surprised to see those portals exist. I think that would require stable arcane magic. The magic in this time does not. He kind of side eyes towards you, Velev, knowing the conversation that you and him have been having. For the others, this may not be a common knowledge thing, but Kai, could you explain to me how you use your magics? Perhaps it might help me.
Well, I've read a lot of books, and I basically try and think about different items that I have and how they could be better. And, I use a mixture of different methods to make them work. I don't really call on gods or the weave or anything like that. Mine comes more from tinkering around with stuff and giving it, alternative functions.
But you do call on the weave to form your magics. Have you noticed anything odd when you do that?
Not lately, I haven't felt anything strange.
Interesting.
That is something I will keep an eye out for, though.
I wonder if your items are somehow a buffer, a protection from dealing with the purity of the weave, somehow filtering the effect and controlling it and giving it more form, more understanding of its execution. If I
And that
actually,
might be.
I'll look
I
over to
mean,
the
look
side
at
where there's a
facts.
blank space and cast create bonfire.
he watches you do it.
Do I feel anything with the weave?
Not really, but you feel that natural connection with the world. You feel that kind of echo of your mentor's voice in your head, teaching you how to take the natural existence of the world and tap into it for the purposes of managing your magics.
Felt the same.
I don't believe shamanistic or druidic magics use the weave as well. I'm guessing. I don't know this time well. I think I was made for a different reason. And maybe part of my confusion is related to that. I'm not sure, to be honest.
That's okay. I thought the weave you were talking about was something that you made blankets out of. So
Belev, I forget how young you are because you are so insightful.
thanks, I guess.
Well, as you guys watch the caravan leave, he goes back to trying to figure out what these things are. The portals are interesting. I'm going to spend some time on those. See what residual magics I can pick up on. So, anything you guys want to
Okay.
do while waiting for Gulsha before I switch to him?
I think we're going to make a temporary little camp.
Yeah, set up
Yeah,
camp.
I was gonna
Yeah.
set up camp.
I mean, because temporary short rest area first, and then depending on how
Mhm.
long he's gone. If he doesn't come back, then we will revisit.
Okay.
Let's
So-
make some lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, after surviving death and killing strange creatures, a meal's a good idea.
Yeah.
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 Short
Okay.
rest.
Probably
I can
clean
have
Hey,
that.
up.
field rations. Let's
Is-
eat the
is-
smoked meal.
Is there a
Mhm.
stream or a river that we can clean up at? We're
Shadow
probably
your teeth.
covered in demon gore.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a nature
Probably,
check.
Probably.
Can I see if can I do that too? Just to see if
Yeah.
I beat him.
No.
Feel free. The two of you looking for a water source. Perfectly fine.
Can I roll survival?
Sure. That's fine.
I would like to help him
So-
with the survival roll.
so
Can I help
either-
him with the survival roll?
Yeah, either nature or survival as you guys are figuring out how to consume some time here while we go and resolve
Alright.
Gulshaw's challenges.
And I can also create food and water, guys.
Okay, I got
Awesome.
a 24.
27.
Oh!
Oh.
Natural 17.
So between the three of
I
you,
got a 9. Oh, you probably have proficiency in it. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
so between the three of you, you do find maybe about a couple hundred feet off the main road a series of very small minor springs being fed by a small stream. You probably figure it might be from one of the major water sources nearby. It's big enough to do some cleanup in. It appears to be fresh in nature, allowing you to refill your water skins and, catch your breath for a moment.
I don't have any lifestyle magic, so that's about all I can do.
I can make food and water.
For you,
Lifestyle
Gulshaw,
magic.
just darkness. You remember swinging the hammer and coming into contact with something, but you're not sure. You also remember the exploding energy that kind of was both a shock and a surprise to you. You remember the skull face of the hammer flaring a deep, dark, greenish red hue at the conclusion of the impact. And then darkness, cold, silence.
Mm.
Time seemed to just stop and move fast.
Do I feel like I'm standing on something or am I floating around?
It's hard. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Uh, 13.
13. It's hard to know for sure. You're looking at your feet. The ground is opaque, if it is even ground, but your feet are on something. You don't feel like you're floating necessarily. Looking around, there's no sign of the creature immediately until way off in the distance, a very small pinpoint of light begins to flare in your direction, getting a little bit bigger. You're moving towards it without actually moving. It's strange.
Can I do anything at this point, like lay on hands to myself or something?
As you put your hands onto your chest to try to recover some of your injuries, you look down to see yourself completely uninjured.
Oh, okay.
None of the previous injuries seem to be on your physical self, on your physical person.
Okay. I try to move toward the light then.
Okay. Whether willingly or unwillingly, you seem to drift towards that spot.
Oh, okay.
There's a strange.
Am I in the Shadowfell?
Give me a. Boy, that's a tough one. From your
Sight?
no,
I've never been there, but
no,
I've read about it, I'm sure.
Right. So from your perspective, it'd be more of a religion check because of your
Okay.
studies and your understanding of the different planes of existence and how you can't get to them anymore. Because
What understanding? I rolled a 5.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. This would be the Shadowfell as far as you're concerned, because the
Okay.
ability to tap into magics to shift into planes doesn't exist anymore. The weave
Right.
is a notoriously dangerous thing to wield. There are no pure arcane casters.
Right.
And
There's
those
no wizards anymore.
those tend to be skill sets reserved for those that can practice true teleportation and plane shift and powers that haven't been seen in hundreds of years. But it's cold, it's strange, it's not tactile. You're standing, you're walking, the light in front of you getting slightly bigger, and then you can hear a voice off in the distance that's getting louder as the voice grows and the light grows. I don't understand. I've been working so hard on this one and I can't get it to work. And it gets a little bit louder. The image gets a little bit stronger and bigger. And then suddenly you go from being nowhere to almost like a transparent existence within Turcasta's lair.
Okay.
Hunched over a laboratory platform is an unfamiliar figure to you. Their back is transparent skin and bone protrusions. One wing is shattered and the other wing is folded against their form. They're hunched over, working on something that actually looks familiar to you. The creature that you just destroyed, or you believe you destroyed, is being worked on by this individual. Without even moving or willing to move, you're now kind of pivoting and being able to see what they're working on. The front of this person is exposed bone and desiccated organ. They are wearing the insignia that you've now come to know as the sign of Merkel. The chain of bones around their neck. One eye sealed shut with a metal plate. The other eye, a translucent kind of opaque orb of white and milky kind of softness. Skin and hair and patches on their kind of bald head. Lower jaw just takes just a moment as it sticks out. Looks at your invisible form. And then kind of goes back to working. I've tried I know what to do. And you watch as he walks away from the lab platform. He goes over to a familiar sight to you. The giant amber-like enshrined egg-looking thing. It's an egg form, but it's just a giant mound of amber. You can see on the interior the 3 devices. The dagger, the book, the small egg-shaped stone inside of it, the 5 or 6 individuals frozen in time, their bodies protected from the art of decay. He reaches out and just picks off a very small piece of amber. He wraps his hand around it, and you watch as it glows in his hand. That's better. Can't start the heart without the need to live. He kind of turns around, ambles back over to the platform, jams his hand inside this gelatinous, oozing form of flesh and tentacles. You watch his small faces kind of flop out and flop back in, an arm, and then it comes back in. It gets slightly larger. You then watch as he goes over to a mirror. He takes his hand, makes a glyph-like ward in front of the mirror. A portal explodes in front of him. You watch as he picks up this now wiggling and writhing mass of flesh, bone, and tentacles. And he just, there you go. Give our friends a what for. As he tosses the mass through the portal.
Gotcha.
Everything coalesces, turns, the world blurs. You now find yourself opaque yet again, standing, rotating around the larger form of this creature that you had just encountered. But it seems to be moving and doing things in a strange kind of way. You're watching as this creature is somewhere else so far away, can't find its way back. It's permanently lost. And then like that, the world explodes around you. There's a tear in the fabric. And then you can hear your friends laughing. You can hear them eating. You can hear them collecting water. All of you making this impromptu camp look up to see Gul Shah standing in the exact place that he disappeared from. So, the hammer revealed two things to you. One, that on a natural 20,
Mm-hmm.
your target must make a DC 19 charisma save or be banished.
Mm-hmm.
On a natural 20, the origin of your target is revealed.
Nice.
But you sense so much more. There's so much more to this hammer. You get the feeling that these revelations may come more frequent. There may be more to come. The power of this hammer is just intense. All of you, with the exception of Max, look over to see Gul Shah. Gul Shah, all your friends seem recovered. No sign of the caravan. Time has definitely passed here.
Am I healed or no?
Yes, you're very much healed. There's even a bit of a blue-white kind of effervescence to your overall look that kind of for a moment and then goes away.
Okay.
Oh, hey, he's back.
Gul Shah, where did you go? Where's the creature? What happened?
The
Are you okay?
creature, yes. Perhaps we should sit by the fire.
Want some food?
Yes, I'll have some food. Some
And
very
then some food.
strange things have happened. So
Yes. What happened?
I struck the creature and the hammer banished it. But it
Well,
also
Ow.
drew me into a dark void where the origin of the creature was shown to me, where the creature came from, and it was familiar place to all of us. It was Tricrosta's lair.
It came from Tricrosta's lair.
Yes, and do you remember the mirror that we found?
Yeah. Wasn't it at Vert's?
Yes, but he's using a mirror that's what he uses to create the portals that he sends these creatures through to attack us.
I wonder if we can use our mirror to create portals.
I don't know if it's exactly that type of mirror. Did it look like that mirror that we have?
Hard to tell.
Okay. I mean, it could be. I don't know, but that mirror was showing us places that from the past and things like that. I don't know if we could use it for the same thing. But
When he threw the
yes.
thing in the mirror, did it show him? Or did it show like some sort of library?
No, it's just he made a glyph in front of the mirror and then a portal opened and he threw his creation through it. And that's
Do you
obviously
remember the
was.
glyph?
I don't know anything of glyphs, but
Give me a Arcana check, Gul Shah.
okay.
Unfortunately, Max is not there, so.
Oh, I got an 18. Not too bad for not having anything on my Arcana.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm a doer, not a prayer.
Yeah. I mean, you
Barely know
have
much
at
about my
least. You kind of begin to describe it, and all of you hear a voice kind of, ugh. I believe that's conjuration. That's arcane magic. As you watch as Scorch kind of wanders over to join the conversation.
Yes, well, nice.
Scorch decided to stick around too.
Yeah, he
A
was over
time-
investigating the remnants of where the portals were.
A time before this, anyway, I communed with my goddess and Baal also, and they were telling me that let me see what the name of that. Sorry, just want to make sure I get the name right.
And this Ivar reference check is brought to you by.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so they did say that another goddess, Mistra, was also trying to reestablish the weave, and I don't know if he's able to use it better than other people, but I think he might be using it to his advantage somehow.
I know this name. Mistra. It was a
Mistra.
goddess worshipped as the protector of the weave during my time. I was expecting her to still be here. She is not here. The weave is not what it was.
Now, do I commonly know about what happened to the weave from history and the whole?
The common history is that during the Rift Wars, Mistra had sacrificed herself and used the weave to prevent the Pestilent One from entering into the prime material plane. That's believed to be common knowledge based on the surviving artifacts and remnants that the Silverhands have recovered. This is information you kind of got from that and through your own religious studies. Most people consider it myth. Most people don't have a general understanding of the old world or specifically how it happened. But
Would her dad have kept her away from it, or would Kai know anything about some of these artifacts?
Give me a history check.
Okay. See how my history
Gorge, I don't know
is.
if you know some of the history of our past, but the Rift Wars were a mighty war that took place between the gods, and Mistress sacrificed herself
22.
to prevent the Pestilent One from entering our plane, and ever since then the weave was, if not totally destroyed, it's very damaged.
Kai, there were hanging out in Tamlin's study and hanging out in the repository of relics that Lord Silverhand has been collecting over the years since his time shift. Well, not this version of him, but some of many of the previous versions, as well as Vert and Tamlin's own ability to kind of implicate through the different versions of Silverhand which relics to look for. There are a handful of small and lesser relics that you remember interacting with. Some were evidentiary things that related directly to the Rift Wars. There is a partial tome it's a metallic tome that's mostly damaged that does reference the pantheon known as Mistra, but her system of like believers and idolaters and those that worship her don't really exist anymore. The one thing that definitely catches your understanding, there was a time when Vert was teaching you simple infusion magics as part of your artificer training.
Mm-hmm.
And he always seemed very insistent upon how that magic was utilized, and you kind of haphazardly kind of play at the necklace,
Okay.
and you're like, is there more to it? Because this doesn't make sense. How are you able to control the magic then? Based on what Scorch is saying and what Gulshaw is saying, there's something strange about how your magic works.
Okay. Interesting.
And by the way, it is
Sure.
middle of the night because you guys were traveling at night with the caravan. So, it's roughly, 3-4 hours into the, it's like 1 a.m. is it for a comparison perspective.
How long
Okay.
is it? How long has it been since the caravan left?
It's been maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes since they left.
Or we could probably catch up to them then.
All right, let's try and catch up to them.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like my tune. And you watch as Scorch steps far enough away and the ancient red dragon reappears. He kind of sets his girth down so everyone can crawl on top of his back.
I'm gonna put Ghost
All
in
right.
my necklace.
Okay.
Ah.
Ghost, I'm gonna put you in my necklace, sweetie. I will be better than you trying to get on the dragon. Yeah.
He kind of
Throw it up
bounds.
against him.
Yeah,
and-
he kind of
yeah.
bounds towards you and
Yeah.
shrinks into the necklace.
Unfortunately, Douglas too big for me to just carry him anymore, so he's gonna have to ride as is. So I'm gonna find a spot on Scorch's back that is pretty stable for a quadruped.
Fair enough.
And I'll go with them to help hold him down.
I'll
Okay.
help.
So as all of you get onto Scorch's
Stronger
back,
than I look.
as all of you climb onto Scorch's back, Valev, you've taken this ride before. Always the takeoffs, never the landings. And you watch
Gotta
as
be
he
sure to
just,
lean back.
and the massive form of the dragon just kind of like leaps up into the air and begins to just.
I might scream a little.
And 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet, 400, 500 feet. He's now circling above the area that you were just in. And as he circles, he heads off towards the main route that the caravan went, and he follows it for maybe 10 minutes. And within that short 5 to 10 minutes, you can see the elongated form of the entire caravan strung out, and he kind of lands just slightly ahead of it. You watch as a series of basilisk riders come racing over to where Scorch lands, all of you kind of disembarking, and as soon as you're off, the last person gets off. Scorch returns back to his male form this time, his kind of like tribal looking form that he takes on sometimes. Gulshaw, you recognize cousins coming over. You even recognize your uncle coming over. Gulshaw, are you okay?
Yes,
Good.
I am fine.
It's good to know this. Are
Caught
you?
back up with you.
Yes, we are trying to make up the time that we lost. We are hurrying the caravan as fast as we can. Our hope is to get to Wolvesville soon. We have many injured after that situation. Please, would you ride with us and tell us what happened?
Yes, I'll follow him, but also want to be taken to the wounded, and I'll use my lay on hands ability to heal
Okay.
people.
So at this point,
I have 55 hit points, so
you can
whoever
expend.
needs-
Yeah, you can expend it all to kind of top off the work that Arena had done as well. So for the remainder of the journey to the town that you're traveling to, before starting the journey towards the Maw Chasm, everybody is free to do whatever you want at this point. This final part of the journey to the town take a few hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours. The remaining time, but it's your time to use to do whatever you want before getting to town and eventually needing a long rest once you get there.
We were traveling with Lord Silverhand, weren't we?
Yeah, he is part of the caravan. He's way up in front. This caravan, at its full length, you guys were in a small section of it. The caravan itself extends almost half a mile. So he was way up the front and never had an opportunity to even react to where the caravan was struck by those portals and the creatures.
Yeah, because it wasn't that many rounds.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a minute.
Kai will ride up to her dad. She'll find where they were, get on
Okay.
her horse, and go head up to where her dad is.
You guys watch as Kai starts clomping off towards the front of the caravan.
Now, 6 seconds a person, and for each creature, that was about a good 15, 30-minute battle. If we're counting each of the creatures individually, doing 6 seconds.
Well, but that's not quite how it works.
I think that's how the mechanic works.
Not in turn order, but each creature technically takes 6 seconds to perform its action, bonus action, and movement.
Right, but
Yeah, but they're all doing it at
they're
the same time.
concurrent at the same time as your 6 seconds.
Yeah, it's considered simultaneous.
They don't like.
They don't stand there and wait
round-
6 seconds.
Each
and then
round is
6
6 seconds.
Yeah.
So your 6 seconds of that round is what you do. My 6 seconds of that round is what I do. Gulshaw's 6 seconds of that round is what he does.
It's all the
In
same.
those 6 seconds, it's all the same 6 seconds.
Yeah.
They don't
That'd
add.
be great if it was
Okay.
consecutive, though. That would be really funny.
Right?
That
I'm
It's
like,
just turn,
everybody
turn,
stop,
turn.
You're next.
It's my turn.
I
No,
love
no,
it.
no,
Now,
you can't
demon,
go.
attack
It's my
me.
turn. My turn. You
Derek,
please.
the
your
demon.
turn.
The demons are
Pause.
like, Derek, it's your turn.
Pause.
Derek, go.
Yeah. It's your turn. Hit me.
Oh, yeah, we
You
can't
better
wait to kill
go.
you, but we have to because it's your turn. So
Yeah.
So, Gulshaw, you're
Yeah.
currently aiding most of the others
Yep.
that were still injured. That
Mhm.
Arena had already done some work on. Kai, you're looking for your father. Max is riding somewhere in the caravan. Valev, Derek, and Arena. What are the three of you doing?
I'm gonna go with Gulshaw and I'm going to continue tending to the wounded. And
Okay.
I pull out Ghost and let him, I ride him up to the different wagons and stuff as I climb on. And
And as always, in the background, the far distant, that volcano occasionally.
Sorry.
it was an accident.
Yeah, most geological events are accidents. Good on
It
you.
was an accident.
Valev,
My bad.
Valev
My
and
bad.
Derek, what are you two doing with your
It's
time?
not a coincidence.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't us.
I would probably just be hanging with Scorch.
Okay. Two of you kind of find an
Keep him
area
out
of
of
the
trouble.
caravan to kind of just hang out and keep eyes open. Derek, what are you doing?
I might as well see if Lord Silverhand's been given an update and probably inform him about what Gulshaw mentioned as well, since that's new information that even if he did get a lowdown on, wouldn't have been added to it. So I might as well head up and go see him.
Fair enough. Kai,
Is Lord Silverhand the only one with us, or is Bird or Tamlin also here?
it's just Lord Silverhand and his personal guard of 12. Brachus, as we recall, is in the process of putting together a force to head towards the Jasper mining colony. And everybody else is staying in Whist to deal with the crowding and population concerns that have been going on since refugee columns have been streaming to this direction. Now that word has gone out, there seems to be a safe haven, a place of stability to flee to. The coastal regions, the far south, the far north, the last elements to really kind of inundate the area will be coming and streaming across the new bridge once it's open, as Valev has been, bared witness to the massive refugee camp that has been set up on the opposite side of the chasm, as well as seeing what the construction site looks like as well. Kai, give me an investigation check.
Okay. That's a 25.
Okay. After a while, you find your father, Lord Silverhand, kind conversing with a couple of the caravan guards and another individual that looks like a messenger that is commonly used by your father to handle messages between people in the field or different towns and stuff like that. As you get closer, you hear him kind of utter to the messenger, "Let the regent know at Woolsville we should be there in the morning, and to expect us, please." "Ah, daughter, how are you? I was not expecting to see you so soon."
I just wanted to let you know that we were okay and everybody has recovered and is back with the caravan.
Yes. The Gulshaw scouts filled me in on what happened. I was about to start looking for you until I was told that a very large red dragon was flying in our direction. There was momentary panic, but I reminded everybody about Scorch, and perhaps that is who we had who they'd seen. So I had kind of hoped that you were catching a ride, as they say.
Yes, it was very, very fun, actually. It was quite exciting to get on a dragon. I never in all my days thought I would do something like that.
I never thought I'd see a dragon again. You watch as Gulshaw and Arena ride by you and kind of nod at Lord Silverhand. He nods at them. They begin to matriculate into the caravan, doing their work of healing and everything. At some point, you watch as Derek rides up. Derek, you can see Kai and Gulshaw, or Kai and Lord Silverhand are currently conversing, having a conversation. "Ah, young Derek, good to see that you are okay as well."
Hey, is it okay if I leave and come back? Because I don't know why the mute I have on Groovy isn't working, and the
Yeah,
music
go
is
for
just
it. Yep.
super loud in my
Yep,
ears.
go for
All
it.
right.
That's what fixed it last time. And I'm pretty sure
Groovy is so rude.
Yes, it is.
It can be. Yeah, and Kyle definitely let him tell all the stuff that he wants to tell him.
Okay. We'll wait for him to come back here in a moment. But he looks back over at you and says, "So, daughter,
Yes, Father?
is everything okay? Are you doing okay?"
I'm doing fine, actually. It was a little bit scary, I won't lie. And honestly, she came up to make sure her father was okay, really, but she's not going to say that to him.
Fair enough.
But yeah. Yeah, it was actually it was kind of exciting. But we all made it through.
He kind of leans so Derek can't hear him specifically.
Sorry about that. Yeah, groovy music I don't know what happened with my computer right now. That groovy music just took over. Like it didn't matter what I was closing
No,
out.
I think it's Discord. I think Discord's having issues tonight. Because I'm seeing like lots of weird Discord
Anomalies.
Yeah. And Cesare, you do whatever you have to do to be comfortable.
That is totally like the beginning of Skynet, and Discord is going to be Skynet, and it's going to take over and become our evil alien conqueror.
We have to find Sarah Connor.
Yes,
So-
we have to find Sarah Connor and John Connor. Mhm, mhm.
So
I don't know why,
I'm
but
looking to
it's
get
back
that
again.
Starlink,
It
though.
just started up again.
Maybe when Groovy restarts, or like when new music starts playing, it does it. I don't know.
Maybe maybe turn off Groovy and see.
let me do this. Let me disconnect Groovy. Let me try.
Brought to you by.
No, it's still going for whatever reason. I think it's on my
Yeah,
end.
it's got to be on your
Is
end. 'Cause
anybody
it's-
else getting it?
No,
No.
I kicked it out. It's not even
I
playing.
have him muted. Ooh, see
Yeah,
if you have a
see.
tab open. If it's not Groovy, see if you have a tab open on like a browser that's playing music.
I went off of TRPG Academy and it stopped.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
Okay,
Okay.
that might be it. You might be getting both.
There's your problem.
Is the audio from Twitch coming through as well?
it had been
No,
on
because I don't have Twitch up. I just have Discord, but it's stopped now.
Oh,
Gotcha.
good.
Yeah, let me.
There
How's
we
it
go.
now?
Good.
Now try to mute this one. I brought in a different one to see if it'll react for you better.
Nothing so far, but
Okay.
it just starts up suddenly, so I don't know if it'll happen again, but for now it seems good.
Keep your.
And these are the fun things you get to deal with when you do remote games. The joys of
Temperamental
online
groovies.
live streaming, baby.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
it's. I can only imagine what the free servers do, the free Discord
Mhm.
servers.
Ah.
Right.
I at least have the developer Discord server, so I can get the better bandwidth and the better audio and video streaming. But tonight Discord's been definitely very wonky. I'm already
Yeah.
looking up some of my analytics, and there's definitely something going on with Discord. So we'll keep it going. I appreciate everybody hanging in there. And don't forget exclamation ticket to enter in for a chance to win some dice. With that, Lord Silverhand looks over to you, Derek, before continuing a separate conversation with Kai. Young Derek, do you have information for me?
I'm not sure if Kai has already informed you about
No.
the incident with Gulshaw and what he saw when he was disappeared all of a sudden.
No, he looks from you to her, and the two of you exchange a glance, and he exchanges a glance. No, perhaps she was about to, but you can certainly fill me in.
If you two are talking about something, I'm sure it can wait.
Very
No,
w-
please go ahead.
All right, I'll just give it the real quick rundown of basically the creature he saw and the whole summoning deal, and the place that looked like that the cavern or the disheveled cavern that we were at before, where we retrieved the mirror.
Interesting. Thank you for that information. I will pass it along to Vert and Tamlin to let them know what happened. Is Gulshaw okay? He seems fine. He looks past your shoulder to see Gulshaw and Arena going from wagon to wagon, tending to the wounded.
Yes, as far as we can tell. He says he's good too.
Very well. Now, if you'll excuse me and my daughter for a moment, I have some points I'd like to go over with her.
All right, I'll just find a place to hang out.
Okay. After Derek leaves, Lord Silverhand looks back over at you, Kai. I don't necessarily want to alarm you. I'm very grateful for what Arena has done to, well, put me back to health, so to speak. I suspect for her, what she did was not necessarily done alone. I suspect other things were involved, as challenge of keeping me here has been great and difficult for the others. But I am happy I get the opportunity to see out our relationship as father and daughter. Although, I must caution you, daughter, this thing that we do, this place that we're in, and these people that we integrate and deal with, they're dangerous. Things seem to follow them for whatever reason, for whatever purpose. As exciting as Scorch is, he is a harbinger for sure. Dragons have not been seen, well, for centuries. Not since the Rift Wars concluded.
Yes, I did not expect to see a dragon in my days either, Father, and I've only read about them.
I just want you to be cautious. I don't necessarily want to burden you with worries or concern and keep you from what you... Clearly, this is the most I've seen you enjoy life, or at least my version has noticed. I know it's hard to think of that there were many versions of me before this, but for some reason the same emotion is shared. It's there. I think it's valid. I
Well, I still love you, Father, so you don't change to me. You never have.
Well, I appreciate that. I worry about where we're going and I just hope that this plan of reopening the bridge is a solid plan. I know there are people that need help. Vert and Tamlin have communicated that to me, and well, I've read all the information they've collected over the years, and I understand what they're doing. I worry. I worry that, well, sometimes opening a door means you may never be able to close it again. And I hope that we are making the right decisions.
I understand. I will keep my eyes out and be aware. I will try and be cautious, Father.
Good. But on to lighter notes. And then the two of you spend the rest of the journey kind of just chatting and talking about things that have been transpiring and going on. For all of you doing your healing, your conversing. As the caravan continues on towards Woolsville, the scenery begins to change a bit. You're now beginning to pass through denser forested area. The roadside is still quite clear. There is undergrowth and underbrush, but it's now turning from night to the hint of dawn. And as it does, you kind of crest over some rolling sections of the plain where it's mixed with trees and shrubbery and just very different landscape than what you've been experiencing along the previous route that you were taking. As this journey seems to be wrapping up, you can see a small community, and you're also beginning to pass by just hundreds and hundreds of free-ranging sheep. You can see the eventual herder kind of wave the caravan as it goes by. Eventually, the caravan gets just outside of Woolsville, and once it does, there's an individual. There's an individual that's on a horse. She's quite stunning to look at. This human female, long, brown, reddish hair, wearing very simple leather attire, but a flourishing kind of robe over them as well. Quite young, maybe in her mid-20s to late 20s. She's got a lute strung across her back. You can see dual scimitars sheathed into her belt. She looks practiced, well at ease on horseback. She comes riding up. Most of you have kind of gone to the very beginning of the caravan, so you're there. You're all kind of riding with Lord Silverhand at this point. Even Scorch is in one of the wagons nearby. There's after that incident at night, keeping an eye on Lord Silverhand and keeping an eye on Kai kind of feels okay to most of you. This female voice, we got your message, Lord. Everything has been prepared. Please, if you and yours would follow me, I would gladly show you to your rooms, if you would. We don't have a traditional tavern or inn, but I thought you would be willing to stay at the residence. Lord Silverhand looks at her. I think a roof over one's head, a fire, and some comfort are due. The rest of you care. Join me.
I'll join you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And then there's
As
a
long as you
voice.
don't have any.
There's
have to use
a
soap.
distant voice from a very distant wagon. Nah, I'm good. I'll talk to you guys later.
That sounds kind of tinny. It sounds like he's talking into a trophy.
Sounds like the Tin Man.
Yeah.
All of you.
We need to find him a heart.
And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny watching Scorch ride a horse. It's about the most awkward thing that you've ever seen. He's kind of like holding the reins kind of oddly. I could just fly there. I don't understand well, I have to ride a horse. And it's like kind of like he's just kind of clops off into the distance, following the retinue of protectors and bodyguards, and all of you kind of form up and make your way into Wolfsville. It's a community that's gotten bigger, as all the hallmarks of a community not quite prepared for the influx of individuals coming in from all directions. Although,
Like the same as Whist.
This was one of the first stops too, so this town is going to get a lot of traffic when that bridge opens up.
yeah, I mean, between Timberland and this town, which are kind of equal in distance to the bridge, but very far in distance from each other from a north-south perspective, that has been one of the concerns that Vert and others have kind of expressed to Lord Silverhand. But there's a bit more control here. There's a bit more organization. There's not like wob and daub shanty kind of residences built. There's been a concerted effort here, and there's active construction sites. There's active ability. There's coordination. There's organization here. And Lord Silverhand can kind of see the look of everybody looking impressed at the difference between this community and some of the challenges of the community being built up around West. And he goes, Balama is one of my best. I trust her explicitly. We knew that opening the bridge, well, would cause issues. And I felt that placing her here was a good choice. She's a good tactician, good manager of resources. She understands the importance of keeping things hygienic, clean, and organized. Her main problem is lack of specialty, lack of individuals with special abilities and certain professions. But we are doing our best to gather what we can. My hope is when we open up and the main body of refugees from the Midlands can finally safely make their way across, well, this will give us access to a great deal more of those who practice professions, as well as the opportunity for Brachus to add more foot soldiers to our growing forces. There's risk. I see it on your faces. I understand. But we must do what we can. And this conversation kind of plays out as you guys make your way through pens of sheep that are being sheared, as it's spring, soon to be summer, and the shearing of the sheep kind of goes through a long seasonal process, as for the most part the weather's been unpredictable and the habits have changed because of that. However, once you make it through the initial outskirts of the town, there's also great big piles of freshly harvested timber. There are many larger resident quarters on the interior wing or ring of this community. There's no sign of any kind of mercantile setup. It mostly seems to be a community that gathers up resources, gets them ready, and then you can even see where fresh wagons and horses are currently being brought out and loaded with freshly sheared wool and freshly felled timber, going off into the different directions of the different towns that need them. All of you finally come through the town directly, and on the opposite side of it, there's a rising kind of hill, and the caravan splits away and begins to encamp at the base of this hill, while the rest of you kind of make your way up this hill. And on the very top portion of this hill is a 3-story building, quite large, well built, feels kind of like an old Bailey kind of building, converted into a residence. All of you are led into an inner courtyard. Anybody who wants their horses taken care of, they're all stabled. For the next hour or so, it's about unpacking, getting your kits together, getting your horses stabled, just the kind of mundane activity of a long journey that is getting a brief respite before kicking off towards the final portion of the journey. For from up on this position, the impressive nature of Gulshah's tribal caravan is laid out in all of its splendor and color. The market stalls have already kind of like popped up. The different kind of activity, the community that's not currently working, recognizing this is a well-traveled caravan, kind of wandering over to the caravan, and commerce is already taking on. For a lot of you dealing with the darkness of the outside world, this is another feeling of normalcy that's very unusual, very strange. This is how the old world used to be. Not so violent, not so threatening. I mean, thoughts linger about the Jasper mining colony. Thoughts linger about the potential, challenges of opening up the bridge, the celebration that's come from that. Gulshah, thoughts kind of just standing there, lingering. Derek, the unusual nature of things that have been happening. Kai, finally understanding your heritage a little bit more precisely. You could see Valev and Scorch sharing a conversation. It's these moments of completion, these moments of not quite the end, but a little bit more of the middle, that gives you hope for the first time. This is a place that people feel safe, and more people are coming here. But way off in the distance, towards the north, where the Pim Swamp meets up with the Worntooth mountain range, there's that volcano. Slight eruption, glow, barely visible because of the light of day. All of you yawn, exhausted from the journey. You're shown to your own individual quarters, your own place to rest your head down.
Is it big enough for Ghost?
Definitely big enough for Ghost. This is a pretty good size structure, good size residence that's been converted. Formal dining area, formal kitchens. There's even enough to quarter the retinue of Silverhand in groupings. At one point, individually, Balama kind of shows you to each of your rooms, giving you a chance to kind of get a feel or a vibe about her. She seems very confident, very assured. She seems like somebody who would be in charge. Making her regent seems to make sense. But all of you decide to get in your long rest. Now, before you do, give you an option here. You can decide to sleep for just the 8 hours and wake up, right? Because that will bring you back into your post long rest after, almost like in the afternoon, because you won't actually kick off the next leg of the journey for another full day, because the caravan wants to rest up, do some trading, and then show up.
So we're not leaving tonight, we're leaving the following night?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to sleep for 8 hours, then I want to explore the town.
Okay. So everybody go ahead and take your long rest.
I'm not going to do that because it's going to be morning, and the morning's going to pass us by, and then it'll just be night again. I don't know what the...
8 hours from morning is not night.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we'll
Trust
have
me, I
plenty
know
of time to
this.
go back to sleep. I work
Yeah.
graveyards.
I don't sleep, so yeah, but I know this.
The daytime is longer than the nighttime, Derek.
No, daytime and nighttime
No,
are both
not
12
really.
hours.
Yeah, so either way, you're catching the tail end of that day. I mean, there's not very much to do after that.
Always sleep, wake up at noon, then you go to bed at like 5, then wake up at,
But either way,
nighttime.
you guys get your long rest, and you can each individually decide how you want to kind of spend that day before the next traveling session.
I want to pick the regent's brain about how she organizes and, manages
Okay.
What's it called?
Yeah,
Woolsville.
Woolsville.
Since I wasn't gonna sleep, that's what I wanted to actually talk to her about too. Because I
Okay.
wanna scout out a location to see if we can set up a mercantile branch here, since it
Well,
seems to
first
be
let's
Nice.
see if they
raw
need
material.
one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted
Yeah.
to find out. I want to check out the market.
So we can have
Mhm.
Arena and Derek
Daytime,
both do
best time
that
to
in
do that.
tandem if you want to.
Yes, I would
Okay.
like to do that with Derek since
Okay.
he and I pretty much run the mercantile and will likely be the
And I'll
ones
say
running
as the two of
Traverton.
you, and I'll say as the two of you begin to try to locate where Balama is, at one point you just see Max kind of clanking through. He's holding a bowl of food, and he's just muttering to himself, "God, I miss food." And he kind of like disappears down the hallway. You can hear a bowl set on a table, and he kind of disappears into his room.
I yeah,
Does
I have
he
no
eat?
words. I don't think he does.
No,
I
but he misses
mean,
food, obviously.
Well, I think he has to feed the
but
body, but I don't think he necessarily needs to eat. But
I
now
don't think
he's
he
in
needs.
a statue.
Yeah,
He's
he's
in
in
a
a statue now.
construct. I don't think he needs to feed the construct anymore. He had to feed his body before, but I don't think he needs to feed his body now. If it had needed food, it would have died in the tomb.
Yeah. All right, let's go check out the market.
Okay.
Daytime's best time to go check out markets.
So Arena and Derek, you're gonna go check out the town. Kai, what are you doing?
Well, after the long rest, I would have gone ahead, done my elixirs, and then had breakfast or some sort of lunch, whatever food is around at that time. And then, yeah, I'd go out into the market and just kind of explore it because, new place, new things, excitement.
Okay. Gulshaw, what are you doing with your time?
I would like to speak to Scorch.
Okay. Valev, are you there?
I do not believe he
Yep.
is.
No, he's just
I do
gotta.
not believe
He's got no. He's stretching his back.
See no Valev. I see no Valev.
No, he's
I'm
there.
He's stretching his back.
Yes. Yes. Here.
What would you like to
Handle
do
one.
with your spare time?
I was going to be keeping an eye on Scorch because it's a new situation, and I'm hoping that he doesn't react in a negative way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to be seen keeping an eye on him?
Yeah, I'm
Keeping
just
company.
hanging out with him.
So at some point for you, Gulshaw, as you're meandering around this large residence, you find both Scorch and Valev kind of like enjoying a kind of like sitting area, a sitting room. They seem
Okay.
to be just kind of having a casual conversation. Valev, you look up to see Gulshaw enter the room. Scorch looks over, sees you. Scorch kind of nods at you.
Lev, Scorch. May I have some time to speak with you?
Feel free, grab a seat. These chairs are fucking comfortable.
Better than
So-
a horse, I assume.
Well, I gotta be honest. Taking a human form means that my ass is on a bench on the wagon, and my ass hurts.
Yes. Yes, that happens
And
to
then
all
when
of
I
us
said that
sometimes.
to somebody, they said, "Well, don't feel bad, because I'm sure the donkey's not happy either." What does that mean?
That's a joke.
What do you mean, a joke?
Well, sometimes donkeys are referred to as asses.
Ah, I did eat a
Yeah.
donkey recently. That does sound funny.
Mm.
So he ate an ass.
You mentioned, Scorch, you mentioned in your time about Mistra.
Well, I'm programmed to understand what she is.
Yes.
I don't
Do you-
know if I understand why I know what she is.
Do you recall anything else about the time you lived?
I've never lived until now.
But you know of Mistra?
I think
What else do you know of? Is it a thought that was placed in your head, or
I think that's a good way of describing it. I think that when I was an egg, as I've expressed to young Valev here, I believe I was hard-coded for behavior, magics, understanding, so that when the person that I was manufactured for, made for, brought me into existence, I would be, how they say, ready-made.
Mm.
So I do have
Well,
memories and knowledges of the old world, but I suspect, like I've told young Valev as well, he kind of looks towards Valev and then back towards you. I think the anticipation was that the world would not look like this. The world would look very differently. So my information is more historical than it is nascent in the sense of where we are now, if that makes sense.
yes. Yes, it does. Have you thought about what you want to do in this world?
I've discussed it with Valev. I see myself having two choices in front of me. I have not yet decided which to take. Although wandering around with the likes and the lot of you, it's nice. If I even know what nice means, but I don't know. It's a hard question to answer.
Hmm. Well, we're going to be. I fear we're going to be battling a very malignant creature and creatures and their minions very soon. I don't see this tranquility and peace lasting much longer. We are
Well,
going to be
I
quickly in the midst of a war.
I think that is a statement of perspective. From what I've seen on the other side or what I've seen, not related to what Lord Silverhand and his folk have built here. It's not pleasant out there.
No, it's not. And the I'll call them enemies, for they fight us at every chance they get. Our enemies are close by and they're amassing.
Yes,
And I don't.
your enemies are close
Yes.
by.
Well, I don't think they mean to come and attack me. I think they come to attack this whole area because it's a bright light in a dark place.
Bright lights attract moths and other insects. This is true. I
Yes.
understand your concern, but I'll ask you the same question I asked Valev. I mean, the world as it is now is what it is, with the exception of what Vert, Tamlin, and Lord Silverhand are attempting to make here. They're the ones altering a world that's already been decided. Perhaps the embrace of the decision is required, not necessarily the continuation of altering something that has already been fated.
Well, and I'm sure you're learning this as you grow, and sure you're smarter than anyone here, but every man, every woman, everyone has free will, and you have to decide to use that will for good or for evil. And having a stable environment to raise a family and to work and live your life is, I think, a good thing. There's plenty of world out there for people that don't want that, but there's plenty of people, as you can see, they're flocking here because they want stability.
Or they simply want a piece of bread and a bowl of soup.
That's stability.
Maybe.
If someone gives you a piece of bread and a bowl of soup, doesn't want much in return for it, then it's probably a good thing.
Maybe.
But
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because my memories are of the old world, and
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. You said you had implanted memories of the old world.
But that's just it. I don't know whose they are. They are notions of a stranger who has delivered these understandings to me as if somehow I am agreeable to them. But because I was not brought into existence in the way that they expected, Valev has actually given me the gift that you describe. I've been given free will. I don't believe free will is intended for me. This creature that I am is not the creature that they wanted. And whoever they are not here to change that reality. I believe the decision that you and yours made not to alter or mess with that tomb helped. I think the decision to abandon the egg chamber, the decision to decide that whatever those things mean and represent do not require your insights or your understanding, has protected all of you from a decision that almost came to be. My freedom is because of Valev. My friendship, if that's what this feels like, is with Valev, and it influences my choices and my thoughts. But I can't help ignore my primal side, what I am, what I'm capable of. I could go and own something of a magnitude great and huge, and inflict my will upon anyone I choose. I am the exception of my more feral and lesser brother and sister back in Vert's control lab, and where he's allowed to do what he chooses to do with them. I don't care much, but I've tasted a bit of that freedom, the ability to fly so far away from this. Fly and just experience what power feels like. And it's a dangerous feeling. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yes. You must, well, I think if to be successful, anyone must control their power and not let it go to their heads.
Power or passion would seem to be the order of the day. That hammer. It's an interesting hammer.
It is. I'm still learning about it.
Find it interesting that I understand the face, get the tree. I understand its magic in nature, and what it's connected to is connected to both its wielder and its, well, whoever forged it decided to give it to you, but choice to be a champion is not an easy choice. He looks from you to Valev. Valev, give me an insight check really quick.
I'm on there. You said insight?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. No. I rolled a 5. But wait a second. That is a
Plus 26.
3, so an 8.
An 8. From your perspective, looking at and watching Scorch have this conversation with Gulshaw, you're definitely looking at two very conflicted people, creations, whatever Scorch is and whatever Gulshaw is becoming. Two people that probably need to pick a path, and the choice of these paths could be devastatingly dangerous or devastatingly frightening, to say the least. Kind of share that notion of two people fated more than being allowed to choose their own sense of existence, but it is a strange feeling. but you don't feel that Scorch
Awkward.
is. You don't really feel like Scorch is straying. He seems okay.
Okay.
Your choice is difficult, I understand, and I've had to make difficult decisions in my life, and I wish you the best of luck in yours. Hopefully, I hope we never get to the point where we are looking across from each other on other sides of a conflict. Anyone that's a friend of Valev's is a friend of mine, and although he's young, he has much wisdom, and I'm sure he's a good friend to you.
Aw, thanks, Gulshaw.
Don't push it, Valev.
Sorry.
You watch as one of the local stewards of the residence kind of brings over trays of meat and cheese and other knickknacks and snacks that can be snacked on. Water and beer is set down. A little bottle of wine. As the three of you kind of drift off into more lighthearted, casual understanding. Derek, Arena, and Kai, as you make your way out of the main residence, the three of you actually spot Balama. She is making her way towards the caravan. There are two people in tow along with her that seem to be either taking notes or scribing or listening intently on what she's saying. And then after a few minutes, they kind of peel off and disappear back into the main community. From this distance, the three of you give me perception checks as you're coming down the hill. So you can kind of make out both where Gulshaw's family caravan is set up all the wagons that's on its way to the Maw Chasm, as well as the kind of general area of the town off to the right.
15.
Yeah, 15.
Yep.
I got an 18.
18. So the three of you have a pretty good lay of the land from this point. Looking out across the town, you can see that most of it is either residential or warehouse in nature, designed to store goods for shipping. Residents in the sense that anybody doing any work here or any refugees coming and going. And there's construction everywhere. There's new buildings being built almost every empty square space of land that you can see. You get the feeling that there's probably a couple thousand individuals that make this place either home or where they work. There's zero sign of any kind of market, tavern, inn, tinker shop, alchemy shop. There doesn't seem to be a market area, but the amount of people that have trafficked into the newly arrived caravan, well, it's a big deal that they're here. The trading is already going on. You watch as Balama just immediately moves into one of the nearby stalls that one of Gulshaw's clansfolk has set up, selling all assortments of odds and ends and crockery and ceramics and small pieces of jewelry and things that have been converted through animal hides and animal bones and other things that have been made. You can see little minor stands of all sorts being propped up and being flooded by different individuals from the town. The majority of the patrons or the people here seem to be mostly human. There are the occasional gnome or halfling. There's the occasional half elf or half orc kind of moving towards in and amongst the stalls.
That means there's a pretty big market for all those products here, and the caravan's just here for a day. If we set up a permanent shop that sells these items year-round, we stand to gain quite a bit.
Well, let's see if there's a general store, a mercantile already.
As far as you know, you haven't seen one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can set up a general store here, sell all kinds of stuff.
But I also say, based on your earlier perception checks, the three of you also realize this place is growing faster than it can
Sustain.
kind of like predict its own ability to know what it wants. Its main focus is gathering resources, building housing, and taking care of the refugees that are coming in. That seems to be its main focus. Whether or not it's even got a plan for some kind of future shop district or something like that, that's the only thing that's not obviously relevant at this point. Not that you can see.
Nice. Okay. So they need
Time to
everything.
get in on the ground floor.
Yep.
Exactly.
Buy
As
the
My-
stuff from the people who come through and then resell it.
My charisma is terrible, so we don't want me talking to her to try and negotiate that. Just saying.
So as the three of you come off the hill and enter into the familiar caravan-like space, there's nods and people. At some point, Arena, one of the guards, comes by and kind of gives you a blueberry muffin and a tankard of like a soft wine. Thank you. I think I might have died if it wasn't for you. And he just kind of nods. And after that exchange, the three of you are distracted for a moment. And then within moments, you hear, well, it would seem that I have celebrities in my town. I don't think we've been properly introduced. My name is Balama. I am the regent. I manage this community, or, well, I allow them not to mismanage me, as they say. Your names, please.
Wolvesville, Balama. Is there going to be a theme here with people's names?
No, that was actually a random generation that came off a list.
How do you spell her name?
Balama. Balama
Exactly. how I did.
Balama Marivaldi. You can see the loot on her back. Her overall attire has a very bard-like feel to all of you.
Mm-hmm.
You could see her songbook kind of clasped at her waist. The lute, very finely crafted on her back. The two scimitars strapped to her right and left-hand side. Casual leathers being worn. The robe discarded, no longer on her shoulders. Just big brownish eyes, brown reddish hair. Very slim, but very muscular at the same time. She seems to know how to handle herself. There's nothing you get the feeling that she doesn't know that's going on.
Hi, I'm Arena.
Yes, you are. I have run into many of the gods in this caravan. You and Gulshah are speaking of quite highly.
And I'm Kai Silverhand.
Ah, Lady Silverhand, good to see you and meet you. I know your father well. He has put a great deal of trust in me. Although I must say, he seems surprisingly healthy and slim of build and quite clear in his eye. The last time we met at the Regent's community meeting, I thought for sure he was quite sickly and on death's door, but he seems to have recovered from whatever he had.
Arena helped him out greatly.
Ah, then your reputation does merit this conversation. But before that, who is this young little snack alongside you?
Wait, was that like?
Yeah,
Is my
yeah.
perception
I'm an
off?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'm,
Oh yeah.
I'm
Come on,
imagining
come on.
Derek like actually
Totally you.
stammering.
This
I'm-
is
I
Derek.
looked around real quick.
That's Derek.
That's good.
A
Derek.
ranger of the wood, I see. Your expertise, your specialty that you dabble in, young ranger?
Beast.
Hmm. That is. Is there something funny, Halfling?
No.
She looks from Derek to Dudley. Ah, quite the interesting choice in pets. Do see
Well,
to
both
it.
of them are there.
Do see to it that they both leave my sheep alone, if that's okay.
They're well fed.
Speaking of which, what's Dudley think of all the sheep?
Oh, he's not even looking at you or anybody else. He's just sniffing the air, and he's looking right in the direction of one of the shear pins where there's like 24 sheep just lined up waiting to be sheared. and he's just
Oh
there's a
God.
steady puddle of drool kind of coursing out. Ghost is looking at him like, ugh. Like the the gremlin scene where the gremlins are eating, but Gizmo's like, ugh, like in full control of their appetites.
Good ghost.
Mm.
Well,
I'll just like nip his side with my hand palm, be like, no.
kind of looks away from the sheep, sits on his haunches, looks at Ghost, and just kind of skulks down, his paws across.
Sure, it won't be a problem.
Yes, well, anyways, I hear there was quite the adventure getting here.
Yes.
Yes.
We had It was most adventurous for Gulsha.
We get
one of
into
our
a lot
party
of
members.
unexpected situations.
Yes, I saw the young lad named Velev and the very interesting drink of water named Scorch and Gulsha seeming to have some conversation in one of my sitting rooms. Very
She really is a
distracting.
bard, isn't she?
Very distracting, to say the least. Especially since well, anyways, I digress. So, how do you guys like my little community? Hopefully it meets with your satisfaction.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting thing. We actually had a bit of a question, and if the answer is satisfactory, we have a proposition that
Oh,
we'd like to discuss.
well, negotiations while a Lady Silverhand is in tow, I think they will definitely go in your favor. One does
we
not disappoint her father, if you get my meaning.
Yeah. She's been quite helpful. She's actually a regular member of our party now.
Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. Your father lets you out, and this is the first time you come to my town. My first
Well,
this is
opportunity to meet you, and
yeah.
your father actually lets you out now? Wow, it's almost as if he's a completely different Silverhand.
Yeah, no, I've come of age enough. I think he trusts this group of wonderful friends of mine and has let me come with them.
Well, shall we talk and walk, as they say?
Yes.
You
Yeah,
watch as she leans over and she hooks the crook of her arm through Kai, and then hooks the crook of her arm through you, Derek, and then begins to lead you down into the town as you guys begin to discuss. And she goes, "So, what did the three of you have in mind?"
we operate a general goods business back in Whist, and we were thinking of setting up a branch here, seeing as there doesn't seem to be a steady supply of finished goods, such as clothing, tools, and other mundane items.
These professions have become quite scarce. I mostly have been focused on harvesting and raising sheep, meat, wool, and wood, as they say. Do you happen to be the proprietors of the Chimera Mercantile, perchance?
Huh?
I have
Yes, we are.
decorated my residence with many of your exotics. Is
Which ones was your favorite?
the silks and the exotic skins from the Chultian desert. I had never seen the likes of such things before.
Those are nice.
Yes. I noticed that your friend Gulsha was swathed in some of that finery. Is he a member of the clan community that services my people here now?
Yes, it's his family's caravan.
Interesting. Just the other day, I had an interesting pair of tabaxis speaking quite favorably of him and his uncle and aunt.
Oh shoot, I know their names. Hold on, I know their names.
That would
I know
be
their names.
Amayan and Sylvanus.
Sylvanus?
Sylvanus.
Amayan and Sylvanus, yes. Very interesting tabaxi. They are part of a tabaxi by the name of Frostfurs clan. I hope to see them shortly. I believe they stopped off in Whist to drop some supplies off and then eventually make their way back out here again. I know the caravan season will be drawing to a close as soon as we open up the bridge and settle into a long, hot summer, but it's good to
Yes.
know that I am, well, amongst purveyors of arts of mercantilism. Please.
They're actually employees of ours, although we haven't seen them for quite some time as they've been on a supply run.
Yes, the amount of material that I send towards the construction site has been great. She kind of sheepishly looks over at Lady Silverhand. I do hope your father will not be too upset with me, but I was keeping some of it in reserve for the newer refugees that we were getting, but the demands were great, so we did what we could.
It sounds perfectly acceptable to me. I'm sure he would be fine with that.
We shall see. Your Well, in the past, your father can be quite erratic, but I must say, he seems different. Don't know why. She keeps lingering on this, almost as if it's bothering her to
Hmm
a certain degree. And you guys do
Kai is
remember,
definitely avoiding the
yeah, I
conversation.
mean, Vert and Tamlin were quite specific about,
I mean,
the
what do we
understanding of
know?
this
You know
ruse, so
nothing.
so to say. Um, as you guys continue to wander through town, she's pointing to residences that are more established. You get near the outskirts, you can see where the focus here is predominantly on the nature and the idea of creating living quarters and living space. There are the occasional kind of at home crafted furniture that you can see, but you can tell this is done by people that when they're not working, they're merely making the bare essentials to deal with it themselves. Um, she goes, I'm often spending what I can to find what I can. These poor souls often arrive with very little to show for it. Not much other than maybe clothes and a single bag to their names. They come from the south, come from the north, they come from the west. I do worry about what's going to be coming from the east, and these strange patrols that my guard intercept from time to time. Um, we've captured a few of them, made, uh, well, and examples of them, and they have not been back since. But I do
Yes,
worry about,
they've been
yes,
bothering the other territories as well. We've had our share of run-ins.
I was wondering if I could show the three of you something that's, well, it's vexed me a bit. One of our construction sites, where we've been doing some building, came across, well, very interesting series of stonework and um, writings that I do not understand. It's not part of my understanding or whatever it is. It does seem to be glyphs of some sort. Could I show you it?
Well, I
Yeah.
think we're the de facto experts in weird and ancient stuff right now, so might as
Fair,
well.
fair enough. She continues crooked arm in each of you and steers you towards a more thinner, kind of less populated area of the newer section of Wolsville that's being built upon. There's people nodding and waving at Palama as she walks through, and eventually you get to a section where there's two guards posted around a heavy, kind of roped off, simply exposed series of stonework, um, um, almost like headstones that are either up or lying flat, juxtaposed in different positions, taking up about a 30-foot radius of area. Um, she kind of steers you over in the direction. She goes, Philip, William, you can take a bit of a respite. I've got some individuals here that are going to take a look at these stones and give me, well, possibly some answers. Yes, ma'am. We'll be right over there if you need us. The two of them kind of wander off. They reach in, pull out sandwiches, and begin to take their impromptu break that they've been given. The three of you step through the rope line, this area that's been cordoned off. And here you can see at least a dozen stones with many different kinds of writing on them, juxed in different positions, different angles, Some are half buried, some are fully exposed. You can see where picks and shovels and rakes have been set aside, buckets of stone and dirt. This place has been excavated quite cleanly, quite with well intent, exposing as much of the rock as possible. The three of you give me perception checks. And for those of you joining us wondering what the empty purple screen means, unfortunately, Cesare has injured his back recently. And his ability to sit in front of a camera for 3 hours is not an easy accomplishment. So he is currently stretching out, giving his back some relief, and listening, and still able to respond as well.
Yeah.
I got a 7.
7. Derek?
7.
15.
I got a 25.
So 25 for Derek, 15 for Kai. Between the three of you, it's pretty much exactly as she described it. There are many stone-like etched glyphs and sigils and writings and rune kind of markings placed along these stones. It's very strange. None of it's in a language that you're familiar with. However, there's age, there's a patina to the stone. They're definitely old. Derek, give me survival with advantage, and Kai, give me a regular survival.
Okay. $20. Dirty.
Okay.
I got a 21.
Okay. Between the two of you, the markings almost seem to be almost like hieroglyphic in nature, almost as if they're made of pictures of things. The stone itself, most of the stone is either very dark bluish gray, but there's one stone that the two of you kind of point to that's more of a very black obsidian color, very shiny, well polished. It's the only stone that's like devoid of any writings or any etchings. There is simply a kind of like some kind of artistic rendering of a sunset on the lower half and a sunrise on the upper half. In between the two etchings, there seems to be the ability to place something in between there, almost like a place you place a stone or some kind of device in between the two. That seems to be the best you guys can make out of this, but this particular stone sits in the very middle. All the other gray bluish stones kind of surround it, tilted and like angled at different ways, but this stone, Balama just looks and is watching as the three of you examine it. Any thoughts? I mean, I'm not really sure. We found it
Would
about...
Kai have read anything?
Give me a history check.
There appears to be an opening here. What's the shape of the
Yeah, what's the shape?
piece?
Give me investigate, or give me perception as you stare at this, trying to figure out the shape.
24 history.
Okay.
19 perception.
Okay. Arena?
12.
12.
My dice don't like me tonight.
It's almost, it's definitely a faceted shape, like some kind of faceted stone would be placed in here.
Like a gem?
Possibly. For you, Kai, looking at the two images placed on here and the way the runes and other writings are, there is a book that you remember reading in Vert's, or not in Vert's, but in Tamlin's study about teleportation circles.
Ah.
This feels like some old writings that you read about at some point in the past. There used to be permanent teleportation circles that were often used. And the way this is
Okay.
all designed and built, and this seems to be similar to one of the images that you saw, that certain teleportation circles would be marked with either a daytime stone or a nighttime stone of operation. That's how advanced some of these circles had gotten to. And you guys kind of hear Kai murmur under her breath.
Does it look like
Yeah.
the one that Max painted on the floor of the Chimera Mercantile?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Well, she would convey to them that I've read and seen some images, drawings of this sort of thing about teleportation circles that were more permanent. And this one is very advanced, it seems. You could use different stones to go at different times, apparently. I don't know much else about it.
If
Maybe
this
Tamlin
is
does.
if this is like the control stone area, then it's the like how much of it is like is it like we're on a platform kinda, or is it still underneath of like a layer of dirt that they're working to get
It,
off?
it's mixed. It's mostly exposed dirt, and there's some that's still submerged into the dirt, and some that are completely exposed. Imagine like going to a Karn circle or a druidic circle in Ireland or something, right? Where stones are kind of different angles. Some are submerged, some are fully exposed. They're in a circle, kind of, and this black stone is in the very center. The stones seem to average about 3 to 4 feet in height, 2 feet in width. The obsidian stone seems to be about 3 feet in height, 2 to 3 feet in width. Not quite diameter, not quite width, not quite fully shaped or formed. But there doesn't seem to be any other sign of stonework. Nothing else like is here other than these stones.
There are no like seals or lines on the ground
Mm-mm.
where like other areas are. No.
Nope.
Okay.
How big is the hole, the faceted hole between the two suns?
It looks to be about. Give me an insight check. I think I know where you're going with this question.
I'll just poke my finger real quick inside.
16?
Because if
As
it's a
you
faceted hole, there's
Yes,
no locking
16.
mechanism.
as you watch Kai and Derek kind of examine this, and Balama just kind of leaning against one of the stones, watching them examine it, your hand kind of dips into your pouch, and you pull out that stone that used to be in the skull.
Oh.
It almost looks like it's a perfect fit. And then it dawns on you. The color of these stones, they almost seem to be the same make as the Astrolab and Ruin section that you guys had visited after following through the caverns and making your way through the depths and escaping
The mountain.
the mountain through Tokrasta's lair.
I see Arena doing this. I'm gonna be
I'm
like,
like holding it up.
Are you?
I'm not putting it in, but
I
I'm
mean,
like holding it up.
do we
next
really want to
to-
get into a weird situation right now?
How's my spatial awareness? My spatial awareness. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. I think that
I
would
mean,
fit.
if you want to do it, I mean, go ahead.
No, we have to go to the bridge.
I know we have to go to the bridge, but they have to see what this is.
You watch as
I mean-
Balama goes, "Oh dear,
It's
That-
been here for a while. It's not going anywhere.
where did you get that from? That is quite gorgeous."
I know, it's so pretty, isn't it?
Yes.
You know that volcano that's going on right now?
Yes.
It was like under that.
So, are you admitting to the fact that you started a volcano?
I didn't start the volcano.
Okay,
I'm just
the
saying that
flood
it
of
was from under
water
that.
that came into the cavern started the volcano.
Oh, I see. Well,
No, it
young-
wasn't.
We just happened to be in there when it happened.
well, young Derek, perhaps this is something you can fill me in on later. Maybe over a drink.
I mean, it was like an undead fire giant.
He watches her eyes go wide.
Derek's got a girlfriend.
It wasn't. It was an undead fire giant.
And then
That's
before
what
that,
started
there
the
were all
mountain.
the portals and the slinky little monsters coming out of them. It was just a really weird trip.
On second thought, I'll stay here. You guys continue doing what you're doing. Look, warm food and a roof over your head is about as much adventure as I'm interested in. Although
It is nice.
although rumpled sheets and the occasional spare pillow come to mind.
I look over at Derek. I look over at Derek, smirking.
So are
Goes
you
right over
gonna
Kai's
put
head.
that thing in there and see if it works, or
No, I don't want to start shit.
Well, who are you talking to?
I don't want to start shit. This will still be here later. We can come back.
Derek wasn't talking to you.
but we're here now, and I'm willing to be a little irresponsible. I don't know why. Maybe it's
You
the
can
lack
be
of sleep.
irresponsible in different ways, and I look over at her.
So, to be clear, you're under the impression that that gem will fit in there and then trigger some sort of response.
Possible.
It's more than likely.
May I see it for a second? I will not put it in.
Okay.
She holds it up. She looks
puts
at
it
it. She looks at it, kind of judging the markings and. Interesting. Hands it back to you.
I take it back. It's still the same gem, right? She didn't like sleight of hand any shit.
Make an insight check.
I also want to make
Sneaky
sure
little
nothing
biatch.
else was going on there.
30, 20.
Appears to be the same gem.
Okay.
We're so sick, paranoid about everybody.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stab her. Search her body.
Insight check her. Insight check her.
Go ahead. Yeah.
It's good to be paranoid because next thing you know, somebody's shape-shifting into something that looks nothing remotely human and eating
By the
you.
power of the murder hobos.
I got a 6. I got a 6.
As far as you could tell,
Hey.
she sounds sincere.
Okay.
All right. So, you guys think it's a teleportation, some such or another? I don't know. This isn't my area of expertise.
I mean, it looks like it.
Well, I just don't
That's what I read
understand. If
about.
this is a established circle, then where's the rest of the building?
Well, we ran into in the same, area where we found the gem. We ran into a building that looked like it was taken out of where it originally was.
Oh, interesting. You have seen much. So you're thinking that maybe this is part of that building that you found?
It's possible, or it's a different location that was linked to it.
Interesting. I mean, seems
I
strange.
mean, it kind of looks like the astrolabe thing that we found.
Yeah, but it's weird. We only found this about 6 feet underneath the surface.
That's not that deep.
No, I mean,
We were very deep when we. Oh my gosh, I lost a lot of rope. We were very deep when we went down. It
that
had to have been at least 150 feet of rope that we went down.
that would seem to make a little bit more sense. But this feels old. It's strange that it is such a location.
It's probably, it could be remnants. I think it might have been, this could have been teleported from somewhere else rather than being the place that teleported. Because if we found a portion of the building, it's possible other pieces ended up in different places as well.
Well, I mean, if necessary, I could have my workers do some more digging and more looking about, but this is what we've found so far. Who knows what else we might find? I guess, well, I'm not going to lie. It would be very intriguing to see what that gem does. I mean,
Well, we can always come back.
And I suggest if you're digging up old places, you be careful. There's a lot of defenses that do a lot of things. Some of them move.
oh, well, I imagine, young Derek, you shall stay here and protect me then.
I give a sort of
Laying out the red carpet for you, bro.
smirk.
Don't walk by.
I don't know if it's a red carpet. It might be a pink carpet.
Oh.
See, I knew you were gonna just push it a little bit farther than I did.
There's that TVMA rating, man.
There you
Always
go.
always taunting the youngsters. Always taunting the youngsters. Well, since we're not going to resolve this today, perhaps we should all go back for a bit of lunch and discuss arrangements for when you do come back.
Yeah. We can set up a mercantile here if you are willing.
I think that would be a great job, a great idea. I am in desperate need of specialties of profession. I need an alchemist. It would be nice to have a proper tailor and general goods store in town. I don't believe I have any buildings quite big enough that match the overall description that I've heard of the Chimera Mercantile, but we do have plenty of land. Well, filling up quickly, but we have it. There is a nice hill I think you would be interested in.
Yes, while we're here,
Hills are nice.
why don't we just scout out a location, since we know we're going to build here anyways.
An excellent
make
idea, Derek. A picnic. Come on, let's go. And takes Kai's arm and your arm, and she
That
kind
wasn't
of
exactly. I'm thinking in my head that wasn't exactly what I meant, but okay.
she kind of does the finger thing in a direction, and the two assistants that were with her before bring big, like, heavy baskets of food and awkwardly carrying chairs and blankets to kind of, as they follow her along. Come now. Oh, William, you and yours. Back to Gotti. Make sure nobody disturbs this place, please.
We'll have to get.
Yes, ma'am. And they kind of finish tossing their lunch aside and make their way back over. As you guys begin to wander back through town again.
We'll have to send a letter to Kath to get the money for the land.
Oh no, I don't have to. I have the little tablet-y thing, and that tells him where to send money.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're good.
Yeah,
So back to Gulsha and Valev. At some point during your conversation with Scorch looks between the two of you and goes, "Well, I'm going to take my leave for a bit. I want to do some scouting. I have questions that aren't necessarily capable of being answered by anybody but my own eyes. I should be back. I will not meet you here. I will meet you at the construction site at the Mall Bridge in a couple days." And he looks away from you. Gulsha looks down at you, Valev. Young Valev, thank you for everything. I will see you in a few days. Is there anything else I can do for you before I leave? Did Valev fall asleep?
Heal his back.
I know, right? Oh, we might have actually lost Valev.
I heard him moan. No, he's
What-
he's
He has his
muted.
microphone off.
Oh, he's muted?
He's muted.
Okay. Then we'll say they
Lev.
exchange pleasantries.
Yes.
Oh, there
There
he
you are.
is.
There he is.
Scorch looks from Gulsha to you, says that he's going to go do some scouting for a couple days, and he'll meet you at the Ma Bridge construction site. And then he
You're gonna
asks,
be okay?
I think so. Is there anything I can do for you before I leave? Your microphone cut out, Valev.
No, I think we'll be okay. Yeah.
Good. Well, keep your head down. I heard a joke about keep your powder dry. I don't know what that means, but it sounds important, so I think you should keep your powder dry.
Okay.
Do you know what that means,
Powder
Valev?
dry. No.
Neither do I. We're surrounded by strange people. And he
I know.
kind of gives you a toothy smile and heads out through the main entrance of the residence, leaving both you and Gulshaw behind in the sitting room.
Well, let's. I want to go spend some time with my people and make the rounds and say hello to my aunts and uncles and cousins. Would you like to join me, Valev?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, we'll go out there.
Okay. You guys head out of the sitting area, make your way out through the main entrance. Front guards nodding towards you. Just in time to catch a strange sight. The very stunning looking woman that had met Lord Silverhand and gave him entrance to the residence is currently arm in arm with both Kai and Derek, making their way towards a very kind of like medium-sized hill. You can see Arena and Dudley and Ghost kind of bringing up the rears. They're all kind of making their way towards this low hill. And then followed by two very like overburdened assistants with chairs and blankets and baskets of food that's kind of half spilling. Off to your left, down at the base of the hill, you can see the many, many dozens of wagons and stalls that have been set up, the very familiar sight to you, Gulshaw. You also can see the town itself laid out before you as you and Valev come out into this space. What are you two doing?
We're going to head down to the caravan.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to.
Yep.
So as the two of you head down in that direction, Gulshaw, you can see your uncle. I think it's Uncle Fatma.
That's Aunt.
That's Aunt.
It was
Fatma.
was it Fatima?
It's Uncle Ali.
Yeah, Uncle Ali and Aunt Fatima.
Yeah.
Fatima.
You could see them surrounded by some of your cousins and other clan members. They seem to be in deep conversation about something. As you and Valev drift a little bit closer, you can hear him speaking to the others, your uncle. I am unsure it is wise for us to stay much longer. I believe as soon as we deliver Lord Silverhand and we unload our cargo, it is time for us to go home. I know it is a bit early. However, I do not like the portent and the signs that I am seeing. Something lurks in this place. Something waits. You can see all the family members kind of nod their heads. And Fatima kind of concerned look on her face as both you and Valev get a little bit closer and kind of hear him continue on. I know we have made bargains and agreements, but these will have to be broken. We will deliver the last of these construction goods and celebrate. And then from the Mawbridge construction site, we will make our way south and we will make our way east and return to our clandestine homelands of the Chultian desert. I miss it. I know all of you miss it as well.
I'll interject myself into the group.
Ah, Gulshaw. It's good to see you breathe.
You too, Uncle. I was overhearing your conversation. What's the matter? What's going on?
It's more of a feeling than a truth, I'm sorry to say, but we have been away from our lands too long. Time to go home. It is time to go back to our lands and breathe our air, hunt our wilds, and gather what we need for the next season.
Are you breaking some contracts?
I had promised Lord Silverhand I would try to make deliveries further west and north of here to his other towns, but I fear that will take too long. I fear that will carry us into the summer heat, and we do not want to travel in the summer heat. We wish to Go home, Gulsha. This place
The
is...
summer heat here is probably too cold for you.
It's not that. This place is... You know how when you hunt a Chultian raptor and you cure its skin for the first time, and you apply it and you make it into something, and that finished product feels purposeful, useful, intentful.
Yes.
This place doesn't have that feeling for me, Gulsha. This place reeks desperation, false hope. There's a darkness lurking over this place. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what it means. I don't know where it takes you and yours. I only see death here. This is false life. This is grasping on to a world that once existed and does not exist anymore. We travel the wastes. We adapt. We change. We accept the world for what it is. If our paths diverge, I accept this as it is. I know that your thoughts and your directions may take you elsewhere. I understand this. You can see a deep look of concern on the aunt's face. The other cousins kind of nodding respectfully, but equally concerned.
I base almost everything I do on my instincts and feelings, and if that's the way you feel, then you should honor your hearts and do what you feels right. There is a heavy evil hanging over this place. This prosperity, the things you see here, the pacts we've made, they all hang by a thread.
But be cautious, Gulsha. Be very cautious. You mistaken evil with malice. These are not the same things. No matter one's intent, and no matter one's purpose, without the honesty of a true understanding of intent, what are you doing? You are merely continuing a deception, which feeds the malicious thoughts of others. There's a shadow here that feels ancient and old. I don't know of the old world as much as others. I cannot pretend to understand why the great cities no longer exist. Do I miss the great stories and legends of the caravan routes that once snaked through these lands for hundreds of miles? Not really. Places don't exist for a reason. I don't know why. All I know is that I want to go home. This place does not feel like home.
No, it's not home. It's not our home. But I have friends here, and I've sworn to fight with them. We've had many travails together, and I feel that this is my place right now. My God has willed me to be here.
Ah,
I
your
will.
gods. That is one thing I admire about you, Gulsha. Your belief in those ancient bullshit artists. I do admire you for that. It's good to have faith. I know that most of us do not. I had some interesting conversations with Unta. I understand. Get it. I'm proud of you, Gulsha. And he looks from you to Valev. It's important to treat your friends like family once they are no longer friends, because family is truly all we have left. The very end of all things. Kind of steps off the platform he's standing on, and Fatima follows him as he kind of makes his way through the crowd over to where you and Valev are standing. Perhaps, just in case, our paths do not cross again. Kisses your left cheek, then your right cheek, hugs you. And Fatima does it again, does it as well. Perhaps this will aid you on your course. It was meant for you for your ascendancy when you took over the clan, but in case you do not survive this, in case we do not meet again, perhaps you or your friends could make use of this item. I've never been able to get it to work. I don't understand magics, but perhaps some of your friends can figure it out. And there's kind of a tense kind of murmur from all the clansmates and members. And Fatima, with kind of gently places her hand on the arm of Uncle Ali. I know, dear wife, but it is necessary that he take this now, just in case. Perhaps him and his friends can figure it out. I don't know. Don't know what it means, but perhaps this is that moment that requires us to hand this off. I understand, but I just worry for him. I worry for him and his friends. You are right in your feelings about this place, but very well, give it to him. He reaches into his back and he pulls out this long, cylindrical item.
Mm-hmm.
It's a foot in diameter, quite heavy, but he seems to carry it with quite ease. This I had found amongst some ruins that we had discovered deep in the Chultian desert. Don't know what the ruins meant. Don't know if the ruins were meant for anything. I have no idea. But we kept it in the family, your great uncle, over many generations. Passed this down from us, to them, to them. The story, the lore, the idea of the ruins that it was found in, and all of its history behind it. We've kept it as almost like a tapestry, an understanding of our faith in the desert, the faith in our clan, and the faith in our peoples as we wander. But perhaps you and your friends can make use of it. I don't know. Some of our seers have described it as a magical item, but we do not. Well, you know us, Gulshaw. We do not maintain magics. Some of our shamans and seers do what they can to dabble in some of the ritualistic understandings in the natural world, but some of our seers have said that this reeks of arcane will, of arcane understanding. And there's like a popping noise. He peels the top. The height of the tube is about 4 feet, foot in diameter. And you watch as he pulls out a very long piece of fabric at first. And then he lays it on the ground. And it's the most intricately woven carpet that you've ever seen.
Carpet? Is it a flying carpet? Is it
It's
a flying carpet?
got
Is it
fringed.
flying carpet? Is it a flying carpet? Is it a flying carpet?
Shush you! You're on a picnic.
I'm not there.
It's got
Is it a flying carpet?
It's got very oddly fringed edges to it.
Does it look like it came from Aladdin's vault?
It's very simple brown, gold, yellow, and silver colors. You can see that the thread is the thread of silver, platinum, and gold, but woven very intricately, making a very verdant kind of image of, a jungle landscape unlike any you've ever seen. Very deep, rich greens and yellows, and all surrounded with this kind of like, it's almost indescribable the way you look at it. It's about 7 feet long, about 4 or 5 feet in width. It seems to be very light. You go to pick it up and there's virtually no weight to it whatsoever. None. You look from the
I was
carpet.
about to post that.
You look from the carpet to the left.
Oh no, I knew I was muted.
And he kind of has you roll it back up and you drop it back in the container, and he hands the container off to you. Perhaps this can help you. We know it's a relic. We know it's magical. We just do not have the ability to make any sense of it. It's Been in our family for almost 300 years. We've
See what I can do and put it to good use.
We've used it as a way to identify who we are, where we started, how far we've come, and where we're going. I certainly hope, Gulsha, you find your path with you and your friends, and it's a safe path. Way off in the distance, a low rumble. That ever reminding nascent volcano, the very background as a
He
reminder.
keeps reminding us about that volcano.
I
I'm
will-
really, really thinking something's going to happen with it.
I will say for Gulsha and Valev, it's the frequency of it. There was a point where it felt like it was less active. As a freebie, I'll say both Gulsha and Valev pick up on the fact that it's become more active. That's definitely the vibe that the two of you pick up on. And I'll even say for Arena, Derek, and Kai, picnicking and discussing terms with Balama, you pick up on that as well. It's active.
Totally the freaking Merkel.
It's not nearly as dormant as it was when you made your way through the Pim Swamp and dealt with the Bullywogs and their village and the surviving running through. I mean, it feels like a million years ago when you were on the back of that undead T-Rex making your way down the
That
side
is
of the
a million years
mountain.
Feels like it, but it's only like, what, 3 weeks ago?
Well, it's a little bit longer than that, but yeah. I believe that was like episode 18 on the old Faerun, but I haven't published any of that yet, so I haven't decided what to do with the old recordings. I've got like 200
Podcast.
I still have 220 hours of that stuff I got to figure out what to do with.
I want to hear it.
But I feel, Gulsha, this may come in handy. You seem to have very... Did you know that your friend is now a statue? And
Yes.
okay. I
kind
just
of
wanted
assisted
to
him
make
with
that point.
Yeah.
You watch as the ant kind of stifles a laugh. You meet interesting friends, Gulsha. Good luck. And you watch as they kind of turn, the meeting kind of breaks up, and they kind of all drift off towards their stations and a little bit of makeshift market items that they've met. You and Valev kind of standing there looking at a very busy marketplace. You can hear a kind of giggle, kind of echo off a hill, looking over to see your friends seemingly having a picnic, not that too far away, but it's that reminder once again, bit of normalcy. This is
Picnic with a very beautiful woman.
this sense of calm, and then that
I don't like it.
off in the distance. So all of you have expended your activity. It is time to take another long rest. Is there any last minute activity of things that you want to do beforehand?
I will. Well, Max isn't here, but that's the next person I'd like to talk to about this carpet is Max.
Obviously.
But he's not here, so that'll wait till the next episode.
But you would also be aware that Kai is
Oh, that's right.
Trained in the arcane arts
That's
as well.
right, I forgot
Just a
about
little
that.
bit.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can have Kai look at it.
And
I'll take it over and have him look at it then.
okay.
It's at their little picnic.
All right. All of you kind of drift in the direction. Valev, are you going with Gulsha?
Come on, Valev. Follow me.
The Scorch went off, right?
See what all
Scorch
the
went to
laughter
do
is.
some
Yeah.
scouting. Yep. So we'll
Okay.
say
And
that.
probably to eat some sheep. I mean, I'm not saying anything about it, but he probably went to go eat some sheep.
Production will be
I hope
done.
he checks out that volcano, honestly. Because that's what I wanted to ask him, but then if Alev, or when you come over here and say that's not going to happen because he left, I'm like, oh.
So I'll
could
say
probably
as Arena, Derek, and Kai, as you're enjoying this conversation with Balama and this kind of like impromptu lunch that's been, or early dinner now because it's consumed some time, you watch as both Gulsha and Valev meander over to the hill. They kind of walk up the hill to see all of you there. You can tell that Gulshaw is definitely carrying something kind of, it would look to be burdensome, but it's not. He carries it with a bit of ease across his shoulders. All of you are now back together again. Balama looks up and goes, "Oh my, this is turning out to be snack after snack after snack." As she looks towards Arena and Kai, "How do you two contain yourselves?"
Yeah. Mhm. I
Lady,
agree.
Lady Kai.
High
Pretty sure.
questions.
We're pretty close to a
Please.
reunion with that pirate lady, so Gosha's gonna have plenty of time to do stuff like that.
Please, I have no. Yes.
That was funny. That was pretty funny. The look on Gulshaw's face. What?
Pleasures of the
Gulshaw
flesh.
to step up and do some
Pleasures of the flesh are
diplomacy.
insignificant compared to the power of the queen. So,
some diplomacy here. Come on, be our diplomat.
Lady Kai, would you care to take a look at this item and tell me if you can make anything of it? It's magical and very finely crafted.
It is quite beautiful and very detailed. Yes, I would love to take a look at that for you.
All right.
And she'll definitely take a look at it, touching it,
I am
examining it.
too. I am too. I'm like,
No,
ooh,
no
how pretty.
gnomes. No
I'm not a
gnomes on the
gnome.
rug.
I am not a gnome.
But you are a gnome for your ridiculousness.
Yes,
Not a gnome.
she gets so giddy about certain magic items.
Well,
If
I
it was
get
a
giddy
rug of
about any
holding, I
magic
think she would
item.
faint.
Yeah, it was a rug of holding.
Can you imagine if it was a rug of holding? Oh my gosh, you like lift up this like trap door in the middle of the rug. Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
I just made a new magic item for you to lust over.
Yes, I have to make it now.
So does anybody have identify ready or?
Too bad you didn't pick artificer.
Let me see if I have identify running right now. I do.
Okay.
So I can cast identify
Okay. You guys
as a
watch.
ritual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you watch after 10 minutes when Kai finishes. Kai, you feel the invocation and the enchantment kind of pouring out of this device. You watch as a single thread kind of hovers above and you pull it, activating it. And as you pull
Don't
it,
unravel it.
as you
kidding.
pull it, the carpet kind of just splays out and then hovers above the ground just maybe a few inches. 7
Oh,
feet
I want
in
to jump on
length,
it.
5 feet in width. As watch as Arena quickly leaps on it and seems to hold her weight pretty decently.
I'm gonna do a little bounce.
She's bouncing on it.
Is it touching the ground?
No, I mean you're it seems to adjust every time it senses your weight and your change.
How do you make it go up?
As you say up, it just flies straight up.
That'd be crazy. Down.
Red Bull, highest magic carpet jump.
Yeah, nothing really happens asking the question, but since Kai invoked it, Kai, you would be aware that the enchantment would require you to be on it as well.
Okay, then I would climb on top of it with her.
Okay, so you and Arena are on there. Your
We
telepathic kind of
Yes.
signal kind of courses into the carpet, and then you feel it kind of begin to slightly rise up.
Ooh, I'm sitting.
Oh.
And cue the
Yep.
music.
She'll take it in circles for a minute around everybody, just kind of get a feel of how that works, and then set back
So,
down.
Yeah, so as all of you are sitting there taking in a picnic lunch in the middle of a strange town, you watch as Arena and Kai kind of begin to zoom on this magic carpet, kind of rolling around over the site.
I hear
And-
Arena giggling.
And that's where we're gonna finish tonight.
Ghost, I'll be right back.
No! I guess I lost my carpet I just got. I'm never gonna get it back.
So,
See you, jerk. It's got like a stick shift in the middle of it.
Oh.
That's cool.
That is Hysterical.
I love it. Magic carpet for Gulsha.
Grand Theft Carpet.
That's one of the few magic
Ah.
items we've found that doesn't require attunement.
Hey, Kai, you won the giveaway, so be sure to send me your mailing address and I'll send you the dice.
What?
Woohoo! Definitely. Thank you. Awesome.
You bet.
That's the
Sweet.
first set of full dice that I've ever won.
I know, right? So I will get those off to you as soon as I can. So, hey, everybody. I hope Valev's okay. I'll chat with him tomorrow. I know his back is killing him, poor guy. Thanks for joining us. Join us next week as they continue on towards the Maw Chasm Bridge. Hope everybody has a safe, happy rest of your week. We will be here tomorrow night for Denizens and Their Masters, the continuing adventures of the Storm Chasers. You can visit some of our older episodes on YouTube. I also have about a year's worth of backlog on that show as well that haven't been updated yet to the YouTubes. So we're in the process of doing that. But as always, go down below, check us out. Other than that, everybody stay safe. Try to be nice. And don't forget to play a game. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.